Hello, welcome to the Always Dream Bigger podcast with me, Bree. I am beyond grateful you're here, whether you're new, you've been here. I'm just so freaking grateful. If you've been here and you keep going back, oh my goodness, I would hug you through the phone if I could. I'd high five you if you're not a hugger. There is no way to express my gratitude for anybody listening to this podcast, to be completely honest. And I really hope that it helps. I hope that it puts light bulbs off in your head, because every time I write notes for each episode or I just dive right in and start talking, my own light bulbs start going back off. So I hope that is the case for you, but let's dive in. So over the weekend, I had put a little question box up on Instagram, on the podcast Instagram, which if you're not over there, it is Always Dreaming Bigger Pod. But I put a question box up and had asked if there was just anything you guys really wanted me to dive into that maybe you're feeling like you just want me to talk about. And one thing that I got that was like a big, oh my God, yes moment was somebody had asked me if I could talk about burnout. And that is recognizing it and helping ourselves through it and out of it. Oh, I just smacked part of my desk. Got too excited. But I want to dive into that. And it's funny because I literally went to record this episode a few minutes ago and I stopped and I almost went in a completely different direction. And then when I started to go in the other direction, I was like, these can kind of tie in together. So we're going to dive into both. And that is recognizing and of course, working through and getting out of that burnout, but also, and it's going to sound kind of like at first it might be like, how are these connected? And that's why I almost did 2 separate episodes, but they do end up tying in together. And the other thing is, going after our dreams and our goals and still being able to enjoy and live life and go get through life happenings and pretty much because we're coming into the holidays, I really wanted to talk about how we can still keep our pedal on the gas and still go after dreams and fully enjoy the holidays, because you don't have to have one or the other. You can have both. Baby, this is your world and the rest of us are just living in it. That's what I always tell myself. Because you can have both. It doesn't have to be one or the other. And that comes with what's the word I'm looking for? That applies. Oh my goodness. That applies to anything in life. Remind yourself that it doesn't have to be one or the other. It can be both. You can have both. You can have the sweet and the salty. And I mean both good things, as in snacks, sweet and salty, right? So anyways, let's get into it. Recognizing burnout. If you are exhausted mentally, physically, emotionally, and you are just not able to focus, things don't light you up like they usually do. You're not interested. You're just you're over everything. You might be feeling burnt out, and you are not alone. Of course, we all go through this, but, one thing that I do is I recognize that burnout. I acknowledge it. And then I'm like, okay, I need to stop pushing myself to the brink. And I also don't need to beat myself up over being burnt out or pushing myself to that point or hitting that point just because, life happens, right? And so when that happens, maybe we just need to take a break, right? Take a step back. And so I take a step back, I breathe. I intentionally breathe. I focus on my breath. And then I get clear on how I want to feel, because we don't want to be burnt out all the time, right? And that can happen to us. We can get to the point where we're just feeling burnt out for months on end, honestly, if you don't acknowledge it and, of course, redirect. Or course correct. Oh my goodness, you guys. I am just, my brain today. Oh my goodness. I just have all of the thoughts swirling. And so I thought my notes would help. And they do, but apparently I still can't use words or phrases correctly, or say them correctly, I should say. But you guys get the point. So anyways, I take a step back, I switch it up, and I get I clear my brain, and I'm like, okay, how do I want to feel? That's what I need to focus on. But also, what can I do? Maybe is it am I feeling overwhelmed? Is that I'm getting burnt out because there's too much that is pulling from me on my plate? Because you can have a lot of things on your plate, but if there are things on your plate that are lighting you up, it's going to be a lot different than things that are pulling that energy from you, right? So if you have too much of that, energy vampire stuff on your plate, see if there's something you can maybe take off or take a break from. And I know if you're girl, no. Is there something you can do to relieve it in any way possible where you're can you ask for help from someone? Can you just take a nap? Can you, sometimes we do just need a nap, that's me at least, right? So rest take breaks, but also take care of you. Now, before I say this and you roll your eyes and stop listening, I'm going to say do things that fill your cup up. Now, like I said, don't roll your eyes and just stop. Because I know you're probably sick of people saying that, but actually maybe you're like, dude, I'm barely holding on. I'm not adding anything else to my to-do list to fill my cup up. When you do that, it actually does feel like it relieves some of that like stress. At least for myself and a lot of people I have talked to. Now, like I said, if something doesn't work for you, it might just not work for you. We're all different, right? We're all different. So anyways, but adding things that feel good, taking care of myself, it's been the foundation, and it has honestly helped me be there more for everything else that I want to, be here for and do. And it just has pulled more energy in. So, take care of yourself, but also like pace yourself when you can. If you're feeling burnt out from going after your dreams and your goals, like take it like a pizza, take it a slice at a time and go at your own pace, just like you see the whole staircase, take it a step at a time. Right. But that leads me into when I said filling up your cup, doing things that light you up. That brings me into what I wanted to talk about I wanted to bring up, going after your dreams while still living and enjoying life, like working towards your goals. Because of course goals are going to light you up, but sometimes we think like, oh, we've got to do all these things on our to-do list to hit this goal. And, we keep working at it and we just get burnt out, right? Because we're just going and going and going. And, so that is where I want you to pace yourself. But I also wanted to bring this up because you can still go after your goals and enjoy life. And like, especially with the holidays coming up, a lot of times like people won't try something new, or they won't start going after things, or they'll just stop going, like working towards what they wanted because they're like, oh, I can't do that and enjoy the holidays. And so I just wanted to bring that up. And that was just the fact that you actually can, like I said, you can have both. And that is just by pacing yourself. Like I said, like think of it like pizza. You can do it all. And you don't have to be like, I can't do it all. And I don't mean that in like you can literally do every single thing without any help or anything. Like, it's okay to ask for help. I kind of went off all over the place at that last little bit, but I just really wanted to get that all out. So recognize when you're feeling burnt out, fill your cup up, even if you're rolling your eyes and saying, I'm barely hanging on, that filling your cup up will actually make you feel so much better and might relieve that I'm barely hanging on feeling, even if it's just a little bit. Any bit counts. But I freaking love you, and I hope that you go after your goals and dreams and still enjoy life, still do all the holiday things, because I am here doing all of the holiday fun things, but I am still going after my goals. I'm still putting in the work, that energy, I'm getting excited, and yeah. So if there's something you want to try, something you want to go after, go after, remember that you can go after it and still live, still have fun, still enjoy. And that is just what I want to share. So if that didn't make sense, I'm sorry. But if it did and it hit those light bulbs like it did for me, I'm so glad. But I hope you have the most incredible rest of your day, the most incredible week, month, whenever you're listening to this. I hope you're doing amazing, and just know that you're incredible and you are so capable. And I am just so grateful that you decided to come and dream bigger with me. But hopefully I'll see you